And you could kind of see it on Skip's face. He was just like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that.
We're kind of mixing in a few. Scotty will be joining us in a little bit, but you really don't care if Scott's on here or not. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm nice off day before big series for us.
By the way, when you were sitting there like this, were you thinking about, man, if I could just have 1 month like Shohei's had this past week, man, I'd have a great year. Because, I mean, what is he, 16 for 32, 18 for 36, 6 homers, 19 RBIs, 7 stolen bases? I mean, just play that out for 6 months. You're having a great year.
There's a lot of people that would kill to have just a night like he's had, several times this week. It's pretty incredible.
Were you surprised they pitched to him?
Well, which time?
I mean, in Miami.
Ever?
I mean, the one time when Skip Schumacher, they were like, what do you think we should walk him? And Skip was like, if you could read his lips, he basically said, bleep that, we're pitching to him. And then he went, Papa.
I was sitting there. A lot of us were sitting there on the bench during that moment, and we looked over into their dugout. You obviously can never tell what's being said in the other dugout, but it definitely looked as though the majority of the coaching staff was saying, hey, we need to walk him right here. And you could kind of see it on Skip's face. He was just like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. He's like, that's a bad look. And, a lot of us have always had a lot of respect for Skip already as it was. When he was the first base coach for the Padres, a lot of us got to talk to him when he was over there. And then, we've had several guys that have actually played with Skip. And so, we've always held Skip in really high regards over here. And when that happened, everyone was kind of like, yeah, Skip's the man for that.
Can you see it? Can you see when Shohei's going to have a game like this? Because I know there were some guys I played with. I'm sure some guys you played with, like, we're the ESPN game. Like, this guy's we're getting a 3 for 4 from player X. Is there a time when you, like, look at it and you go, Shohei might do something crazy? I know he's got an unbelievable season, 50 homers. You could say that every other day. But is there something that you see and you're like, he's going to do something cool?
It's hard to kind of pick a certain day for him because any given day he can go out there and put out that kind of day. His routine is so steady and it's the same every single day. The only thing that changes is whether or not he's throwing a bullpen. And that's the other thing that's crazy is he's going out there and having nights like this after throwing a 50, 60 pitch bullpen, which that would gas a lot of people already as it is. And then he goes out and steals 3 bags that night. And it's just absolutely incredible.
Max, were you mad? The fan that got the 50th homer, they took it home. They didn't give it back. So is the Dodgers going to put together like a GoFundMe to buy that from the guy or the person that took that thing home? Because Shohei is only making $2 million this year, so I don't know if he's going to be able to get it back. So maybe you as Dodger players, you could get Mookie to maybe chip in a couple bucks, Freddie, maybe throw in $10. You could throw in a couple bucks and get a GoFundMe going so you can get Shohei's 50th homer back.
I think Sho's doing just fine. He might only be making 2 on the field, but he's making way more than that off. So I think he's doing just fine. That's always an interesting subject when you're talking about fans that catch home run balls that have significance to them. What do they ask for? What do they want? Are they being reasonable, unreasonable? I don't ever know what the correct answer to that is. It's if your sole intention is just to make money out of the ball, then, you got to do what you can to make the most money. If you're there because you want to be part of history, then obviously you're going to have a different answer as to what it's going to take to get that ball back. And, I don't ever know what the correct answer is. I mean, I've never been in that spot. I don't know what I would think if I was in that spot and I caught the 50th home run ball or a 60th home run ball or a 70th, something that's breaking a record. The guy that caught Albert's 700th ball, I don't know what the correct answer to ask for is in that situation.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and I'm going to say, Max, you're not asking for a lot of money. You're a guy that keeps extending. You keep coming back to a place you love. So you have standards. You set your standards. You don't even need to say it. All right. But here's the real question. I know there's a Max Muncy. We're having Max Muncy on, but it sounds like a Shohei story. Do you think Shohei will pitch in the playoffs for the Dodgers?
No, but I'm not in that room when those conversations are being had. I know that Show is an absolute competitor. And just the amount of excitement that we've seen around him just these last couple of days, knowing that he's going to the playoffs for the first time, it's been really, really cool. The emotion he's been showing the last couple of games, it's hard to explain. Like, just in the dugout and the clubhouse, what you're seeing from him, and he's pumped. He's really pumped. We can't wait to see him, in the postseason. It's just been it's been pretty wild.
Yeah. So here's my follow up to that. Should the team hold a player like Shohei back? You just said he's so excited about the playoffs. He's a competitor. All things that could get in the way of making decisions that are tougher. Do you feel like the decision should be 80% the player, 20% the team, or is this the team should step in if the player's health is to risk? Because we talk about this all the time with pitchers ripping too many pitches that end up hurting their arms, but the player ultimately makes a choice to throw those pitches. So should the team be the one that makes a final decision to keep a player healthy?
In a situation like this, I think a team has about 700 million reasons to step in. As players, you've heard people say it all the time. We're more than willing to put our body at risk to go out there and win. And so, the majority of the time when it's given, when it's in our shoes, we're going to take it and run with it and say, hey, we want to do this. And that's where the team comes in and says, no, this isn't the best idea. We got to think about longevity sometimes. And, and so I think there needs to be a little bit of both. Obviously, for, whatever reason, if it's on the player side and they say, no, I don't want to do it, everyone looks at them weird. It's, oh, you don't want to win. You don't want to tough it out. And, that's definitely not the case. But, the majority of the time, I'd say the players would want to take it and run with it.
Okay, before I ask you about your own injury, because you had to come out of the game on Sunday, over your, I think it's this shoulder. No, this shoulder. So that's your right shoulder. There's some gardening tools back there. One of them looks like some hedge clippers. The other one looks like something you would wipe the cobwebs away. So did you hurt your side? Is the internet rumor that you hurt your side getting the cobwebs off your house and clipping the hedges?
No, those are nets for the pool. Get the leaves out of the pool.
You're not doing that either. You're hiring somebody to do that, I hope.
Oh, come on. You're never too good to get leaves out of your own pool. Come on.
Thank you. Good for you. Good for you.
So how are you feeling? All right, how are you feeling? You had to come out on Sunday. How's the side, the rib? Is it still sore? And how much are you looking forward to you guys getting that bye so you can get 4 to 5 days off?
Yeah, the side feels good. There's one of those things where it was Saturday night, ball down the line, I dove for, and I landed right on my side, and everything kind of locked up on me. And then Sunday morning, showed up, took a couple swings in the cage, tried to loosen up, and it was one of those things where it felt like, if you push through it, you're really, really risking, missing the rest of the year. And I had a long conversation with Doc about it, and I told him I still wanted to play. And, that was one of those things where it was almost like, hey, I want to go out there and play. I need someone to tell me not to. And so that's why
you don't want to win, Max. You don't want to win. So you don't want to be out there. See, this is what we're talking about with Shohei, right? You don't want to be out there, Max. All the fans said it. We just heard you acknowledge it.
No, that's definitely not the case. I wanted to be out there. But I really want to be out there more for the playoffs, and I've already missed 3 months of this season with this dang side. And so I really felt like you just, with off day today, you take yesterday today, that clears it out. It feels a lot better today, and just one of those things where I don't think it'll be an issue, but you don't want it to turn into an issue.
I love a great deal, but I'm not going to run sprints in the outfield just to save a few bucks. It has to be easy. No hoops, no BS. With Mint Mobile, it really is that easy to get wireless for $15 a month with the purchase of a 3-month plan. Purchase and activation is super easy too.
To get started, go to mintmobile.com/territory. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/territory. That's mintmobile.com/territory. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/territory.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on their first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right, I got a two-part question, and it'll kind of be based on the first answer of the first question. Is it okay to be out all night before a day game and show up for that day game knowing you're in the starting lineup?
I don't know if I'm going to give you an answer of it's okay or not okay. My answer is going to be, and I know both of you know this very well, it's been done before.
And what if that person continues to play well?
As I said, it's been done before by a lot of people in this game. I know what story you're talking about. I feel like there's probably more to it than a lot of us know. And so that's why I'm not really going to comment on it, because if it's just that one scenario, then I don't really know what's going on over there. But like I said, I feel like there's got to be more to it than any of us know, because for as long as this game's been played, there have been guys that have gone out, and I don't know how many times you guys have seen it personally, where someone goes out and has a really long night and they end up being 3 for 3, and they're like, "Oh, I should do this every single night." And it's usually a once in a while thing, but everyone's done it at some point, probably.
100%. Let me just ask you this: did the Los Angeles Dodgers have a curfew? Because they said he broke curfew. Now, I played for almost 20 years. We ain't never have a curfew. It was, hey, do you show up the next day? Are you ready to play? And how are you playing? Now, if you played like crap, they would be like, hey, you should probably stay in. If you were playing well, they were saying just keep doing what you're doing and just blatantly ignored whatever was happening.
I've never heard of a curfew in professional baseball. I've never had one. I've never seen one. I don't think any of our guys have ever had one. Maybe in like a rookie ball scenario, you have a curfew if you're staying over in Pirate City or something. But yeah, I've never heard of a curfew. And as long as you're not late, and as long as you're, if you're on the road, if you make the bus, if you show up on time, if you're making the meetings, you're getting your work in, no one's ever really said anything. Now, if it's obviously detrimental to your game, you're going to have guys coming up and getting in your ear about it.
Well said. Max, I got one more for you to finish strong here.
Yeah, as you just jump in out of nowhere, huh?
Yeah, I'm just going to come out of nowhere. Travel nightmare. But I'm here. And I wanted to make sure that we didn't skip this, because you mentioned it at the tippy top of the interview. It's a big series coming up with the Padres. Did you see this coming? Almost more a question about the Padres season and what you've observed from them as well. I mean, they were 50-50 at one point, and they've really taken off. Yeah, I mean,
there's one thing you definitely can't question about them, and that's the talent they have. They've had it for several years now, and for whatever reason, they hadn't entirely put it together. They had the one year where they beat us in the playoffs. They had it going well, and then last year they kind of stumbled a little bit, but they've always had the talent over there. They've got the pitching, they've got the bullpen now. It's not really that surprising to see what they're doing. Preller's been known to go for it, and he definitely went for it with the moves that he's made. I feel like every year they're one of the headliners making a whole bunch of moves, and it seems like it's coming together for him. It's going to be a tough series, but I believe in us as well.
Yeah, I'll say this. I mean, obviously you guys would rather just be in cruise control, but this is fun. I mean, this is great for the game to have Dodgers Padres like this towards the finish line. So go crush it.
Yeah,
man.
I'm glad we got a day off before it. Our travel has been horrendous this past 2 weeks. We've had a lot of night getaway days, a lot of getting into hotels at 3-4 in the morning, and that's part of the problem when you play night games as the Dodgers. But our travel has been pretty rough these last 2
Hey,
weeks.
Max, you know who doesn't play night games on getaway days and who doesn't have to play Sunday night baseball, who doesn't have to play all these fancy schmancy games? The White Sox. So if you want to suck, go be on a sucky team. Otherwise, don't complain, okay? Because when you're on a good team, guess what you get? You get the Fox games on Saturday night. You get the Sunday night games.
Korea, Japan,
because people want to see y'all. If you're on the White Sox, they ain't calling the White Sox and be like, hey, come to Japan next year to play the Dodgers so we can draw a lot of people. They're like, hey, White Sox, don't even show up next year because if you're going to do this again, we don't want you. Click.
Hey, I was just saying we've had some rough travel the last 2 weeks. You know, we had the Sunday night baseball with a wraparound in Atlanta with a night game. You get to Miami at 3:34 in the morning, and then we played a 5 o'clock getaway day in Miami. You got a 6-hour flight back to LA.
Hey, that was just to keep y'all out of South Beach that first night. That's why you guys had that night game.
Well, you know, we can't have guys staying out till 8 in the morning, you know?
That's exactly. The MLB knows exactly what it's doing.
Hey, you know what? If you're not getting to the hotel until 8 in the morning as it is, you can't stay out till 8 in the morning, you know?
Exactly. See, they knew exactly what they were doing.
That is good.
Yeah, I need that meme of the guy, you know, pointing to his head.
We'll make it. We'll clip it. Max, awesome having you as always. Feel better and go crush it this series.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.